Hello, Amos Tarfa here, Director of Lifestem Academy. One major thing that every American student needs to learn is how to take good notes. So one of the things we're going to focus on from now till the end of the second semester and then all the way through the second semester, basically. So from now till the end of the first semester, and then all the way through the second semester. One of the skills we're going to focus on is note-taking, study skills, and organization. So let me grab my notes here. This is my biology notebook from Nigeria, growing up in Nigeria. Okay, it's falling apart. Well, for the most part, it's actually staying pretty well together here. I got it in 2002, and I used it from 2002 till about 2005. I probably had to add another one on there. But as you can see, there's a lot of pages here of notes. And in Nigeria, it is mandatory to take notes from 1st to 12th grade, no exceptions. Even the blind students actually had notes with their braille, so there was no exceptions for anybody in the whole school. I graduated with about 420 students. Nobody had an exception on note-taking. Now, I understand that there are times where people have a disability or difficulty taking notes, but here's the interesting thing. A lot of students might not take notes just simply because they're lazy, and that's just part of human nature. We are sometimes lazy. We don't want to do certain things that are hard. But the problem with not taking notes and not having good study skills is that you will end up having problems later on when you take difficult classes. So this video is my attempt to give everybody a chance to understand some of the fundamentals of note-taking so that they are ready for any tests and it can help them in life. I take notes every day, wherever I go, whenever I need to, or even if I don't need to. If I ever was watching or if I went to a documentary, I don't really do much with movies today, but if I went to a movie or documentary, I sneak in a notebook. I actually hide a notebook and then I bring it out and start taking notes. Because you never know if you're going to see some concept from the movie that is interesting and worth exploring. So I'll show you pictures of my notes in a little bit here. Let me find some pages that I can maybe try and show as an example. But on this page, you can see there's a table, and it shows similarities or differences between plant cells and animal cells. So that's just an example of a page, right? A lot on that page. Now, they dictated these notes to us for the most part. So, for example, the teacher will just say, both plants and animals are similar because they both possess a cytoplasm, cell membrane, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, and so on and so forth, right? So as the teacher is dictating, and they'll sometimes go back and read the sentence again, we would write the notes, and we keep working on it, right? They train us on that from a very young age. And so note-taking can be very helpful, whether it's when someone is teaching you or when you are reading a book and you're taking notes from what you're reading. Here are a few key elements of good note-taking. Number one, it is important that students write the date, right? So let's say this is 11/10/2003, right? Happy Veterans Day in advance here, and thank you to all those who have served and to families that have served our country. Thank you so much for serving. So 11/10/2023. So write the date. So here's what I want for every student at Lifestem Academy. A notebook for every subject, right? And we have extra notebooks. Whenever I go to Walmart or certain places and they have discounts on notes, we're probably going to be packing all those books out, right? Until they stop telling me to, take all their books. I generally would just buy all the books I can when I can. A lot of books. I want to have notebooks handy. You just never know. So we're always going to have notebooks ready. If you want to use a folder, that's great. But here's the key. At any given point moving forward, at every Lifestem Academy, we need people to be able to say, this is my notebook for math, this is my section for science, this is my section for history. Every core subject, every subject in general that involves any writing on the board, any instruction, the students should have a notebook. And then from that notebook, they should have the date. So we can always ask, what did you do on this date? So we need a date, and then we need a title. So let's say the title today is Sequences. Okay? So you write the title, and you underline the title. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to give a few examples of number sequences. Okay? So then the student will say example. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Right? Those are odd numbers. That's a sequence. So I'm taking notes and I've written out the sequence there in my notebook. Then what if somebody says, here's a number line, there's a number here that says 39. There's a dash there, and then there's a number here that says 31, and then there's a dash there and a dash there. And they ask me, what's the next number, or what are the numbers, what would this number be? Well, from 39 to 31 is 8 units. So therefore, and there's only one, this is the halfway point between the two of them. So if it's 8 units and this is the halfway point, I take 8 and divide it by 2. And what do I get? I get 4. That means 39 minus 4 will give me the number here. So the common difference is 4, and this number is 31, so this number is going to be 27. This number is going to be 23, and the rest is history. So as you move to the right, you're going down by 4. As you move to the left, you're going to add 4. Okay, so I'm using this as an opportunity to also just go over a math concept here where you're recognizing a pattern and using it. Okay, so let's say this is my note for this topic. Okay, sequences. Here's some examples. And then there might be some practice problems that follow, right? And I actually have a document here with math practice problems for anybody, right? On any topic that they need to work on in solidifying their foundation. So you write the date, you write the topic, you write the examples. Okay, when you finish with all the examples or the problems pertaining to that topic, some people will, maybe you draw a line, I'm done, or you go to a new page. Let's just assume this is a new page. The next time you come to do school or math relating to that, you write the date again, and you write the title, and you do the work. Here's the thing. If somebody were to take your notes, let's say your notes were stuck on an island and somebody needed to use them for something, can they follow your notes and make sense of what's going on? That's what I want you to think about, right? We joke that most people have, like if you're going to have bad handwriting, generally we joke that doctors have bad handwriting. And I would love to know why some doctors have bad handwriting. Growing up in Nigeria, I remember when the doctors would write a prescription, like when I had malaria, they would write the prescription, and I always used to wonder, like, does it say injection, right? Because I hated getting injections for malaria. And so I thought they used to write with bad handwriting, so you never could read their writing, but maybe there's a different reason. But anyways, not all doctors have bad handwriting. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying we joke that they have bad handwriting. But we need to have good handwriting, right? And so what we do is write in such a way that somebody else could read as best as they can your notes, right? So I'm going to take some pictures of this note and upload them on our website. But there's notes, there's pictures, there's details that you can use to understand what's going on in biology as an example. Now, what I did on the board was some mathematics. Whatever the subject, write in the date, the title, anything you gain that day from that, or anything you gain from reading, these are very important skills to have. So LifeSTEM Academy students and students all across America, we need to take better notes. We need to have good study skills. So that leads me to another big element of being a good student. What are your plans when you sit down to study? What are your plans for that study session? Every day when you study, you need to have a plan. Okay, let me grab my productivity tracker here. So this is a productivity tracker. I made this version during COVID when they had lockdowns. I thought I was encouraging people to make a plan for how they use every single hour of the day. So what are your plans for each day? When you sit down, you should write down, this is my plan. I'm going to do math at 9 o'clock and science at 10 o'clock. And then you should write down, what am I going to do during math time? Am I going to work on number sequences? Am I going to work on prime factorization? Like, be as specific as possible. So every week at LifeSTEM, there's 2 pieces that we need to see, or at any school across America. Number 1, how are your notes and your note-taking? If you're using an app, I forgot about that. If you're using an app or an iPad, can you show me what you've been working on? Can I see your notes and your organization there? Number 2, can you show me your planner? How are you organizing your study time? Do you need help with that? Ask your instructors. They would love to help you. Or you can send me an email. I'll send you more resources. But please make sure you have a plan of action for every time you're studying, right? So, LifeSTEM Academy students, I'm just putting it out there for you guys. But let me know if you have questions. Anybody else who's watching this channel. Let's see if I have anything else for you to keep in mind. I will be checking notes, and we'll be checking notes regularly, all right? Every week, it'll be good to check on the notes. If you're studying for a test, you should be able to go back to those notes. And then sometimes you actually have to take the notes and then make new notes, right? I remember in biochemistry and some other subjects where, you take your notes, like these notes I have here, I can take them and make them into smaller notes on flashcards, like highlighting the definitions or the differences between plant cells and animal cells or whatever it might be. Study skills are important, American students, so let's do our best to step up our game. And if we do that, we will cover way more than we ever thought we could. Take care and have a blessed day.